Today, I want to make a meal that one of my former roommates used to rant and rave about: pistachio encrusted salmon. Along the way, I want to make the fixings for a proper and filling meal, rather than just the entree itself. This being the case, we're going to be making a side dish of oven-roasted zucchini and yellow squash spears. Look at these things. They're massive. We're gonna have a lot of spears out of these. All in all, I'm gonna be trying to put this together in about 45 minutes, so it's gonna be a perfect fit for any future weeknight meals you're trying to put together. But enough chatting. I think it's about time for us to move on.
Show before, you've got the idea of how I like to go about making my rice. If you haven't, that's your fault, and you should take care of that by subscribing below. All it takes is a rinse, a pour, a drop, a 2-to-1 ratio of water, a splash of rice wine vinegar, and the push of a button. Also, make sure to fluff your rice, but you'll get to that when it's finished its cooking cycle. Moving on to the Veggie Spears, you'll take your veggies, slice off the tips, and then cut into sections about 3 inches long. Zucchini is about the same as the yellow squash, just a bit bigger to work with. For the seasonings here, I'm going with about 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a sprinkling of salt, a heavier shake of black pepper, about a tablespoon of paprika, and maybe about a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. Toss all that to combine, and let's move on to the pistachio topping. At this point, you'll deshell about a few handfuls of pistachios. Sure, you could pay a few bucks to get them deshelled for you, but come on, where's the fun in that? You can either test your patience or test your budget, but you can't have both. And once you're all done, you can do this super satisfying scoop into a well-placed trash bin. You tell me who's the real winner here. Anyways, bag up your pistachios and roll them out with a rolling pin to crush into small bits. In the end, you'll want about a 1/4 cup of this grind, and into a cup it goes along with 2 tablespoons of panko, 1 tablespoon of finely grated Parmesan cheese, and 2 tablespoons of butter, fresh from the microwave. Mix that around with a fork and reward yourself by sneaking a little taste of your delicious topping. Alright, now that we have everything set in place, let's talk about our beautiful salmon fillets. I like to keep the skin on so there's a little bit of protection on the bottom of the fish when it's in the oven. Take your fillet and slice down the center to make 2 sizable portions. For the seasoning here, I'm gonna keep it simple with a bit of salt and pepper and let the buttery richness of the salmon take center stage. With the oven coasting at 375 Fahrenheit, spread your veggie spears out onto a foil-lined baking sheet and roast on a low rack for about 8 minutes. This is the perfect amount of time for us to start the salmon. In a medium-sized sauté pan, you'll bring about 2 tablespoons of vegetable or canola oil to a medium-high heat before placing your salmon face-side down. Pan frying will give a bit of a sear to your fish that will help your texture tremendously down the line. You'll let them fry for about 3 to 5 minutes or until you see the slightest indication of pink creeping up the sides. At this point, you'll pull them off onto your baking sheet and spread on a healthy coating of Dijon mustard to act as a binding agent. Following that, sprinkle your pistachio topping and just know that overflows are bound to happen. It's alright. Just above all, make sure that you firmly but gently press that topping into the half-finished salmon. It's at this point that you'll place the salmon on the oven's mid-rack and set a timer for 12 minutes. Conveniently, the same amount of time until the veggie spears are done. Who would have thought that I had that much foresight to think that one through? The key here is that the pistachio crust has a distinct firmness to it, while the center of the fish is nice, lovely, flaky, and moist. And if you want to take this a bit further, you can make a lemon shallot reduction to give your fish a crisp, acidic topping to cut through the richness. For this, you'll use your sauté pan to fry 1 finely diced shallot, a little bit of salt and pepper, the juice of about 2 lemon wedges, and a splash of white wine vinegar, before letting reduce on a medium-low heat until the shallots have cooked through. At this point, you'll cut the heat and whisk in about 4 tablespoons of room temperature butter to get a creamy and lemony finish for your fish. And with the final piece of the puzzle here, all that's left to do is sit back and enjoy your hearty meal. The highlight here with the roasted veggies is the crushed red pepper. I wouldn't say they're spicy by any means, but they are just enough of a kick to keep things interesting. And the salmon is unbeatable, if I'm gonna be honest. The butter and flakiness of the fish are an instant win here. The pistachio crust only serves as the icing on the cake. Wait a minute. It's at this point in the video that I like to say thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed watching these recipes, make sure to like, subscribe, and most importantly, share this video with your family and friends. Your support here is incredibly appreciated. If you have a request, leave it down below in the comment section. And with all things said and done, I'll see you next week.